Oh my Lord. Welcome back to Block Island, baby. All right, yeah, okay. Porgies ain't fun, guys. I'm sorry.
Now that's what I call a porgy.
Wow, nice fish.
There we go. That might be a little better.
Oh, that bitch is screaming, Rick.
Wow.
You're watching Northeast Angling. We're proud to present inshore and offshore saltwater fishing. We cover every species from fluke and porgies to stripers, sharks, and tuna. You can learn more about techniques, tackle, and destinations at neangling.com. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
You know, Andy, here we are. We're back in Block Island, Rhode Island. And you know, we very rarely get a chance to just go out and have a good time by ourselves. We're always chasing something or another, tuna, bass. And today we decided, let's just go out, let's do some bottom fishing, let's do some giant porgy fishing.
Because we think they're here.
We think they're here.
All right, like people have caught some very big porgies here. We got a feeling that if we fish some of the spots that we know we catch really big bass on, we're thinking that we're going to see some very big porgies on those spots. Not necessarily because the bass are eating them, but because the bass can't eat them because they're so big.
Correct. I agree with you. And, you know, again, people take porgy fishing for granted. They really do. It's probably, we've talked about this before, probably one of the best ways to get kids into fishing. And not only is it a good fighting fish, a good eating fish, but I'll tell you, I think they're more fun to catch than anything else that swims, to be honest with you.
And as usual, we're going to make a challenge out of it because even though we've got really good seas and not a lot of wind, we got ripping currents here, tricky bottoms. We're going to have to make a decision whether we're going to drift on these fish, stem on them like we're fluke fishing, or maybe anchor up at some point. We're going to have to puzzle that out. And we'll probably get to do all of them and we'll see which one's going to work best. And hopefully we're going to find some really big porgies
Well,
here.
I think if we find what we're looking for in this area, we're going to open a lot of people's eyes up to how much fun and what a fishery this actually is.
Yeah.
Just by the actual size
Yeah.
of the fish we may run into here.
Yeah, well, if they're as big as people say they can get here, we'll find that out.
Now, we got a good piece of structure. We're actually running into the tide now and we're not even moving. We got a 2-knot current here. So we're going to flip the boat around. We're going to start out stemming and let's see if we can find a few.
Push her up to the right. Got a little pot we're slipping onto here, Rich.
Okay, got it.
Coming out at us. There's a lot of pots here. It's going to make it a little tricky. So we really got to know where the pots are at all times. They're pretty much laying with the current. We want to make sure that we don't, on our drift, collide with any pot strings. We'll absolutely hang up our gear.
All right, I'm going to flip this boat around. I'm going to put the motors into the tide. We're going to slow the drift down. We got 6 ounces of lead on.
Right.
Where normally if we would anchored, we'd probably need about 16 ounces of lead.
At least.
We're going to use 6.
Okay.
And we're going to stem the tide and we're going to try to get on these fish right now.
Let's go. We got about a 2.5 mile an hour current here, which is a lot of current. We're both fishing 6s, and we're just trying to stay on the bottom here.
Trying to keep in contact with the bottom. Oh, got one, Andy.
First fish of the day there.
There you go.
Done, not very big.
Oh, there's one. There's one. There's
You know,
one.
Rich, is this going to be one of those days where you tend to catch the slightly larger ones than I catch?
I don't know, but I certainly hope so.
No, I get the wrong kind of fish. I caught a little sea bass here.
I think I got the right fish here. I don't know how big he is just yet, but he's pulling pretty hard. Oh yeah, I got the right fish here. This should be good. This should be good. I'm gonna slow this boat down a little bit. I gotta play with these controls while I do this, because I had both motors in reverse just then. Man, I got a chop here, Andy. Oh my Lord! Welcome back to Block Island, baby. All right, yeah, okay. Porgies ain't fun, guys. I'm sorry.
Now that's what I call a porgy.
You know what? I don't care what you say. Striped bass, I got the hook in the seat here. Striped bass, bluefish. Look at the size. You ever go down, I used to fish in the Tortugas when I was a lot younger. And they had a scup there that looked identical to a porgy, but it was different. And it got up to like 6, 7 pounds. And that's bringing back some memories right there. I don't know if you actually know how big this thing is. This thing is...
And by the way, this is the first fish of Rich's day here.
Yes. And there's yours. Nope, you got bottom. Let me spin it.
I'm out. I'm out. Wow.
Now that...
That's frightening.
What do you say? What do you say to something like that?
That's ridiculous. That's what we thought would be here.
God.
Because we were here bass fishing. We've been in and out of this place for a lot. We know that we mark a lot on the bottom, and we're never sure what it is. And we've always said it's either big porgies or big sea bass.
You know, it's very deceiving to judge the size of this fish, okay? I just want to show you something. This is both of my hands on this fish, and look at this. This is a slab of meat right here.
Wow.
Now, this is one great eating fish, and it's incredible.
It's going in the live well. He's going in the live well. I'm turning on the live well. I'm going to give him a fish tank.
I should do this all day. I don't care. I will not look at another bass when you can catch porgies this big. He's going in the well. I'm going to eat him tonight. Wow. Look at the size of that thing. Wow. That's just monstrous. I think we're going to have some fun today, big guy.
Wow.
Oh, there's one. There's a fish, Andy. Oh.
I'm pretty sure I got cleaned out over here. Or at least it's worth checking.
Oh.
They got my bottom bait. I'll tell you what, if it's ever down there, whatever whacked this, just as big as the last one you had.
Ooh.
Got another brick there, Rich?
I got a little bonus baby right here, Andy. Look at that. Little black sea bass. Now this is a good eating fish also. And again, you know, you're fishing a hard bottom here. It's rough. It's 40 feet of water. You don't know what you're going to run into. You're going to catch fluke. You're going to catch sea bass. You're going to catch porgies. I think the other day you had a monster freaking bagal when we were fishing the other end of the island.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's everything here.
Yeah.
It's like a giant fishbowl of fish. It's just a question of what comes up at the end of the line. You never know.
Yeah. But, you know, in all honesty, this is not an easy way to fish. It really isn't. Because, you know, until this tide eases, a lot of people can't fish this tide. Yeah. And we're doing it because we got the motors in reverse. We're keeping the boat slow. We're slowing the boat down with the drift, which enables us to hold the bottom and fish the areas we want to fish for a longer period of time.
And we're also making sure we use enough weight to always hold the bottom.
Most definitely.
You don't want to be flying across this bottom.
I'm going to get another piece of clam.
Visit the Northeast Angling website at neangling.com for nationwide saltwater charter directory, fishing news, and free fishing reports. You can also find dozens of techniques, tips, and tackle for every saltwater species. Now let's get back to the action.
Well, we made that last drift. We had that one horse. We just came back up on this drift. Oh, and there could be our second horse, maybe.
I almost dropped my rod overboard.
You know, you're known for doing that.
You know, I've got to activate on my clams, which makes them absolutely more attractive, especially in this hard-running current, which can wash out a bait, but made my hand a little slippery. Well, Rich, I'm pretty sure this isn't as big as the pool fish.
Oh, my Lord.
But you know what? Anywhere else,
oh, my Lord,
this would be a very good porgy. You know, this isn't bad.
You know, it's amazing. And now what you want to do with these fish, again, I noticed with the biggest porgies, when you're hooking these fish, you'll get those thumps. You don't get that rat-a-tat like you would with a smaller fish. You get the thump, and what you want to do is just like kind of lift up slow, and then when you feel the weight of that fish, you want to follow through and hit him pretty hard.
Well, I'm going to send this guy back, and because I think we're going to get much bigger fish than this.
I don't know. I'm not used to throwing back 2-pound porgies. Let me.
Well, you know what? It's all part of the game here. A little bit of conservation is not going to be bad. And I got a feeling we're going to see more porgies like that one. I'm still hoping yours wasn't the exception to the rule.
I don't think it can. Those fish, I don't think it's going to swim alone. But you know, if we can get into those fish like the way we want to, man, this could be a lot of fun. We just started, so let's just keep grinding and see what we
just
find.
need this current to drop out again. I'll tell you, you know, one thing that's really critical about this hook selection.
Oh, there's a bite. There's a bite. Now, I just had a hit. What I want to do is give this slow lift and see if he's there. And he's there. And follow through. Fish on. Oh, yeah. How could you not think this is not fun? This is
not fun for me at the moment.
Oh, my God. I mean, I don't know how people frown down upon porgy fishing. I really don't. Well, again, when they're 4 pounds, it's kind of hard not to.
Well, we were talking about hooks, and we're using a 2.0 Ultra Point octopus hook. It's a great little hook. We just slid it onto a couple of dropper loops. And bottom dropper. Got that one. Another good one.
Oh, my Lord. This is unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, buddy. You in?
Yeah, I'm in.
Attaboy, Andy. Look at this. Look at the size of these things. This is a jumbo chop.
Now, you just keep hanging on to that for just a second.
Hyannis. Oh, you're that confident, huh?
No, I'm not that confident. But it feels good. It's a nice fish. You know, and you know that porgy bite, because you know what? They're basically absolutely all over the place. And this little guy is putting up a heck of a fight.
It may not be a little guy. What you got there, big guy? Whoa! All right, you got me on that one.
Not bad. Not too shabby.
I mean, you know, I would travel anywhere. I know they have a bite like in a Hyannis. Everybody runs to Hyannis to get porgies, jumbo porgies. I mean, this is unbelievable. I mean, this is just, look at the size of these fish. These are absolutely beautiful. I want to catch the striped bass that's going to eat this porgy. You know, you talk about porgies now, and everybody says the same thing. Oh, yeah, I live line them for striped bass. Yeah, live line that sucker for.
Yeah, I got a feeling it's a little too much porgy.
I want to see the bass that's going to eat that.
Well, this guy's going crazy. I'm getting him back.
I'm keeping mine. Well, you might as well keep yours. You got to grab him by the ears, by the way.
I'm keeping mine now. Well, I'll tell you, Rich, we definitely brought the right gear today. We had a lot of choices.
There's one.
I just missed one.
I got one.
We had a lot of choices. We brought our spinning reels out. We got 30-pound fire line in them. We really want the low line diameter here.
Yeah, I mean, the braid cuts through the water so much nicer, it's not even funny. And I'll tell you, I like these rods. What kind of rods are these?
These are torque rods from Penn, and we got the Conquer 5000 spinning reel. And that looks like a nice fish.
That's a fatty right there.
Oh, boy.
Hello, buddy.
Yeah.
Two on. Here they come.
Here we go. That's good. That's going to be a solid one. Oh, no. You didn't.
Oh, my Lord.
So, once again, braided line. Can't beat it. You know, the fire line's the perfect choice for this. And 6.5-foot rod, and it's porgy time.
Yeah. You know, I've come to a quick conclusion with the braided line, Andy, and you and I both agree with this. You know, people say the old question, braid, mono. It seems like whenever you're fishing, you're real engaged, you want to use braided line.
Yeah.
And whenever that spool's open, chunk in, live lining, you want monofilament. Just to keep it simple.
Right.
I don't want to, go over it too much, but that's just the way it is. But look at this. Come on.
You know what? And we're sitting here, we're using clam baits, and mine happen to stay on, but, you know, the bait is absolutely important.
Yeah.
There are a couple of different choices here. I know you chose clams today.
Yeah.
Why the clams?
You know what? I know the squid works, and when you get these fish going, I think, you could switch to squid, and it's a lot easier. You can save bait. It's easier to cut. It's a lot less mess. Maybe get a sea bass or a fluke easier.
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, when it comes to the porgies, I'm either bloodworms, sandworms, or clams. The price of worms lately.
Yeah.
If you're going to catch them like this on clams, I think you're better off just staying with the clams. I really do.
Yeah, I think you're right too,
You know?
and they're certainly working. But we're gonna need to cut a few more clams at this point.
I'm going to get on that in a minute. And I want to, and there's a certain way to cut these things also. And believe it or not, there's certain parts in a clam that work better, and everything else. And we'll go over that in a little while. But I'm keeping this. I'm sorry.
It's going in the fish tank.
That's too damn good
Fish
eating
tank.
for me. Oh, when one porgy can feed one person, you know you're catching the right fish.
Pretty sure that porgy could feed 2 people.
All right, let me get to the clams here.
Oh, Rich, while you're over here cutting that bait, throw me a piece.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, I know you've spent a lot of time cutting clams in your life, and I know you're very picky about our bait selection. What are you looking for? First of all, where'd you get these? Is there a local bait shop
Yeah, we
here?
got these on Block Island at one of the bait shops on Block Island. And they're fresh shuck skimmers is what they are, already deshelled, which I think is a lot easier. If you want to spend the time and shuck your own, you can. It's a lot of work. You can buy them at the pints, the quarts. And they're whole clams, lightly salted. And this is basically what they look like. But, bait is, I don't care what you say, obviously is the most important part you can do. We talk about fresh bunker, fresh everything. Fresh clams, I think, are mandatory. Frozen will work, but again, you always want fresh. This is the neck. This is basically useless. You can get rid of that every time. It means absolutely nothing. You can't put it on a hook. It falls off every time. You got a fish, don't you?
Yeah, just keep going on the bait there, bud.
You make me go to the bait while you hook fish. This is beautiful. I love it. But you know what? You want to maximize your clams also. Basically what you want to do is you want to save the ribbons. The ribbons do work. One thing about porgy fishing, you really don't want to put too big of a piece of bait on. Like I bet you that bait's on the top hook. That was the best piece of bait I could find on the board, and I put it on your hook. I'm going to gamble with this now. But I think that's, I blew it. It's a sea bass. They're scavengers anyway. They eat everything. But You really want to maximize your bait. What you want to do is you want to splice the whole tongue of the clam. And what I mean by that is you actually want to fillet it. So if you take your knife and you actually fillet the clam, what you're doing is you're doubling your bait. Instead of just cutting where you normally have a double side of the tongue, you actually fillet the clam, and what you're going to do is you're going to double the baits that you have. And you want to just slice them thin so they stay like a fluke bait, pretty much aerodynamic. And this belly part here is probably the best piece you can use. When you can get a strip with a little piece of that belly on it, it's like a chum pot built into your line. So you want to maximize your bait as much as you can. We got about, I would say, almost a dozen pieces of bait out of that one clam. And that's basically all you need. And again, the way you want to put it on is very simple, just like you did before, or just like I did before. You want to just take your hook and you want to just weave it on once or twice. If I had to pick my choice here, I would probably go with something like this. All right, and basically you just come through the end, the tougher end first, come back in one more time, and you're looking at a good piece of bait.
And, you know, we always use an enhancer for all our clam and squid baits, because no matter what, it's going to give it good scent.
Like Bobby Flay.
You know, and the fish are absolutely going to eat it. And you know what? If you spend money on bait, you never know what it's going to smell like or how fresh it is. We always know that is going to make it perfect.
Activate's going to help it out a lot.
Yeah.
You know. So I mean, there are preferences to different pieces of bait that you're going to use. The one thing I will say with porgy fishing is when you get these fish going, downsize your bait. Elephant seed peanuts. I've said it my whole life. When you got the right fish in the area, you downsize your bait. You conserve your bait. You don't need a big piece of bait once you got them going, and you're going to save a lot of bait by doing that also.
Well,
and it's a lot easier to set the hook when you don't have a huge piece of bait coming off of it.
Well, bait your other hook. The drift's slowing down. We don't have to stem as much. Let's get back to it.
Oh, real quick also, that's washed out.
Yeah.
When that goes white, change it up, guys. It makes a big difference.
Visit the Northeast Angling YouTube channel for hundreds of videos, including full-length episodes, exciting clips, product reviews, and instructional videos. And now, the exciting conclusion of Northeast Angling.
Eddie, I'm getting hammered here. Look at the tip of my rod, Eddie. Look at the tip of my rod. Watch this. Look at it.
Take a swing.
Gotcha. Oh, yeah.
You know, one thing we're not doing here, because we're on the drift, we're not chumming, but we always bring enough bait and clams along, like clam logs and all kinds of stuff, to absolutely chum. And if we had a little less current, we would certainly go and stop and anchor. We don't chum when we're drifting.
I had twins.
Oh, no.
Yes, I had twins. And
Oh,
and the one on the bottom was a lunker.
I hate when that happens.
Yeah, but no, you know, people put porgy fishing hand in hand with chumming, and we're doing it a different way here. We're drifting, we're covering bottom. But again, you know, if we were really looking to bail these fish, when this tide eased, we would probably anchor up ahead of the pieces that we're fishing, and we put a chum log down and chum into them.
And bring them to us and just pound on
Pound
them.
on them.
But here we're scouting. We're trying, and we got a little high piece. We're not catching fish on the high piece. Believe it or not, we're catching the fish on the sandy sides on either side of the high piece.
One thing about porgy fishing that you're always going to realize, anybody that does this a lot, I'll get that for you, is you never really catch the porgies right on top of the structure. Even the wrecks on the South Shore, Long Island, Jersey, wherever. You know, you always want to be off the side a little bit for the porgies. They don't like to lay right on the wrecks, but they do love to lay around them.
I don't know. I think it's because the wrecks, there are other things on them that might eat them.
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility.
Yeah.
But I'm going to bait up again, and I guess we'll
We'll hold this drift a little bit longer, and then we'll turn back up and do it again.
Let me grab some bait.
Another little touch there. I'm in.
you go,
Wow.
buddy.
This is the best Block Island porgy bite I can imagine anybody could have. You know, it's mid-July. There's a roaring bass bite here, and everybody's bass fishing. We're all by ourselves, and we're porgy fishing.
Yes, we are.
Why? Because the porgies are big, and we're trying to prove a point.
Because they're big, they fight hard as could be.
How big are they?
They're good. Oh my God, another horse.
They're this
Look
big.
at that.
They're this big.
Oh my God, I'm telling you. You know, it's absolutely amazing, the size of these fish right here.
And you know what? The interesting thing about this is that it never stops. Absolutely never stops. You get on this bite, we're drifting, and no matter where we go, we're catching. And this has been amazing. And you know what? I know we're not chumming here right now, and we're doing our drift thing, but the bottom line is, I like doing this, and I'm a big fan of seeing what's going to come next.
Yeah, you never know. You absolutely never know.
This guy's going in the fishbowl.
That's a good one. Oh, here's one, Andy.
You know, we just coming back onto our little X we put on the machine. Got one specific piece of bottom. It seems to have fish on it.
Doubling up, baby.
You know, we have just kind of narrowed it down. The current's slowing down, and this bite getting easier and easier. But you know what, Rich? We learned this.
Wow. Wow. Oh, man.
Well, I got the world's biggest burgal.
And I got another beautiful porgy.
Wow. That's a brick.
Oh, my Lord.
You know, these fish, every time I see one of those come up, I look at it and go, it doesn't look like a porgy anymore. It's just like
prehistoric.
Yeah, they're amazing. When they get that big and how big the fins are, look at that. Aim that right straight this way. Look at that. Look at that.
That's a bruiser. I mean, look at the mouth on this thing. I mean, you could fish a freaking 7-0 hook and catch this thing. But, you know, you made a good point. We got this down to a science.
We learned this.
And, you know, if you notice, we're catching the fish on the same spot on the drift almost every time down.
Yep.
Maybe we'll drag a few with us, you know, or pick a few here and there. But as soon as we get to that 1X that we put on our GPS, which is right off the side of the structure, that's when we get them.
Rich, we got one more drift of this in us. Come up this spot a little more, one more drift, and we're going to wind it up. We're going to go and have a great porgy fish fry.
That sounds good to me. You know, Andy, we just lost the tide here a little bit now. We're holding with 6 ounces of lead on a drift, which is ideally the way I'd like to fish that. And we'll give this a shot. It's probably
we're 1.7 miles an hour, which is
marks.
a lot less than 3.
The marks
I got a little touch there, Rich.
Why trying to pick up too?
I'm in. This, you know what? We're almost out of time anyway. It's time for lunch.
There he is.
And
oh wow.
I got a solid, Rich. I got a solid fish
Andy,
here.
I think I got a moose on here too now. Pulling drag. Look at this. Look at it. Oh my God.
Right.
Making drag.
This is definitely my last fish of the day here. This is solid. This is one of those porgies that almost needs a net.
Wow. Look at that. This thing is pulling like crazy. Oh man. Oh, Andy, where do you see this one?
Oh no.
You ready? Yeah!
Wow. That's a porgy that actually does need a net. Oh man. You know what?
Oh my God.
We proved a valuable point. As the tide slows down, this bite got better, fish got bigger, and it got much easier to fish. Maybe we should have been bassing when the tide was ripping.
Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. He got hit by a bluefish.
Got bit
See that on the way up? Look at that. Look at the gash out of his tail and he's bleeding. See the back of his dorsal fins all bent up? Look at that.
Wow.
He got whacked by a bluefish. Look at the size of that fish, too.
Putting mine in the live well.
How big are the bluefish here, Block?
I don't know. Actually gave that a smack.
He's actually bleeding. Look at that. I want to measure this fish. Out of curiosity, I have to measure this fish.
I got you.
I mean, I know the one we caught earlier was pretty damn big, but this thing's close.
Wow.
Tip of the tail. It's almost a 19-inch porgy. Oh my God.
You know,
That's almost a keeper fluke. Well, actually in Rhode Island
in this
it is.
state, that's a keeper fluke.
Look at the size of that.
We're done here, no matter what.
I agree.
This was great. We proved a point. There's absolutely giant porgies here.
Oh my Lord.
We fished 45 to 52 feet of water, pretty much off the pieces. Block Island, I think you could go anywhere here on any piece of bottom and do this and get on the
The
fish.
sick thing is I mean, you know, we picked a dozen or so fish in a short period of time, probably more than that. And we got enough to feed about 30 people.
Put my lunch right in there, and we're out of here.
You got it, father. Good job.
Good job.
Thank you for watching. You can use the buttons below to subscribe to our YouTube channel, watch more videos, or to learn more about the location, techniques, and gear as seen in this video.